What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Starling-Dade session. Yeah. Oh, hey, this is my song. I don't own the copyright, but I'm gonna play it anyway because this is my song. Hey, here I am. Hey, whoa. Make sure y'all like, y'all share, y'all comment on this. It's gonna be good. So. Oh, oh, oh. Rick Ross is like grown folks rap music. Like I'm still, I said, nah, but for real though, like Rick Ross is one of my favorite rappers. He's just so smooth and like he ain't gotta do all that extra. He's just real smooth. I don't know. But yeah, I just want to play that. So this episode is gonna be a story time. I'm so excited to share this with y'all. So this is a story time like from back in 2019. I think it's been so long ago, but I think it was 2019. This is a story time how I got lost in the woods, how I got almost stuck in the woods and almost had to like spend the night in the woods. So yes, this is like crazy. Every time I think about this, it brings laughter to me now. But in that moment, that junk was not funny at all. I was literally almost in tears. I didn't tell anybody about this experience because I was so unprepared. It was like almost embarrassing. It's like, how did you think that was gonna go? But it was my first time out of the country in Europe by myself. So not only was my first time out of the country this time, but it was also a solo trip. So I didn't go with anybody to kind of like do any checks and balances. It was really just like, all right, Camille, you playing this yourself. You better make sure you on point on everything. So this was a trip to the Czech Republic. So I started off in Prague. Just to give y'all a little background of how I even decided on going to Prague. I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Last Holiday. That's like my favorite movie ever. I know every line. I know every point of whatever. I can literally turn the movie on, turn my back to the movie, and recite every line. That's how much I love that movie. So if you don't know, Queen Latifah, she was working in Louisiana and she got bad news that, she was basically getting ready to die. She had this tumor or whatever, and she was getting ready to die. So she said, hey, I'm getting ready to live my life to the fullest. I want to go somewhere that is in my book of possibilities. So she had this book of possibilities in Karlovy Vary, which is a city in the Czech Republic, is where she wanted to go. So after researching, ever since I found out about that movie and started researching more about it and where it was filmed and all this different stuff, I started to look at other cities, and Prague, of course, was like the most touristy city. I love the pictures and the videos that I saw. And I was like, okay, this is where I go. When I go somewhere, my first time going internationally, this is the place I want to go because I literally fell in love with it by watching the movie, by researching different travel videos and all of these different pictures and stuff. So I was like, okay, this was where I'm going. And so I made it happen. And that was my first trip. So I started off in Prague, and then I started to venture off into the countryside. So I was there for like 9 days, like 9 to 10 days. I can't remember. It was a pretty long trip, 9 to 10 days. And I started off in Prague for a few days, and then I went to, now I don't know how to pronounce this. It's spelled Decin. I only had one person to pronounce it to me correctly. Somebody from there. I think it's I don't even want to see it. I'm just gonna put it there. It's like just seen, or I don't know, something like that. But I'm gonna put it up there and then y'all can find out the pronunciation on yourself. But anyway, I went to the countryside and I found out about this hike that a lot of people were doing. It's called the Pravnička Brana, I believe. Again, I'm gonna put it right there because I know I'm probably butchering these words. But basically, it was a hike that I wanted to take. And I was like, I want to see this. Like, people doing it, I can be able to. I'm not afraid of hiking. Like, especially if I hike in the daytime, I should be okay. I don't think this is an area that had much wildlife, to my knowledge. From the research I did, I didn't see that there was any like hazards about wildlife or bears or stuff like that. Even though it could be, I just didn't see it. So I decided, okay, well, I'm going to do this hike as soon as I get into the city, into Jessin. And so after I left Prague I think I was there for like 4 days. I left Prague and I took the train to this countryside. And so I can't remember what time I got there. I think it was probably like 2 or 3-ish. I don't know. I can't remember because it's been a while, but I can remember the most important events. But anyway, so I got there, checked into my hotel, and immediately started getting ready because I was only going to be in town for 2 days. And then I was headed to Karlovy Vary. The only reason why I was coming to this town is because I wanted to do the hike in Pravnička Brana, and then I wanted to do the Saxon Switzerland hike for the Basti Bridge, which is in Germany. So that's why I said I had to do this hike the day I got there, and then I was going to do the hike in Germany the next day, and then I was going to be heading out to Karlovy Vary. So get there, check into my hotel, and I get on the bus to the hike. So by the time I get dressed and everything like that, I think it was probably around 4:35. I'm gonna estimate and say around the time I got there, like around 4:35. So I'm like, okay, it's gonna take like an hour, maybe an hour and a half at the most to get up to that place right here, to get up there. So I think I should be good. If I get there, 4:30, take an hour and a half, 6 o'clock, get back, the sun will probably just be going down, whatever. That is not how that junk turned out. I literally didn't know how much time. Low key, I might be lying a little bit. I probably got there later than 4:30 or 5, to be honest. I probably got there like at 5:30 because I remember when I got up, I'm gonna look it up. When I got up to the top of that, the restaurant was closed, and she was like, the thing is getting ready to close. Like, I think it was already closed. And so that's why I'm like, I had to have gotten there later than that. And then I'm gonna find this because I need to know. Okay, yeah. So they closed at 6. So I had to get there like at in between 4:35 or something like that. But I spent so much time taking pictures, like video recording, doing all this stuff. Like, I just had all the time in the world. But it was my first time here, and I just really wanted to like bask in everything and stuff. So I was doing all this stuff, taking pictures, stopping for breaks. I mean, just doing what I want to do. Like, it was gonna be day the whole day, and knowing that, well, I didn't know when the sun was gonna go down, but I should have known it's almost evening time. It's gonna go down at any point. You need to get up here, take pictures while you're up there, and then come on, make your way down. No, I stopped probably every 15 minutes, take pictures, water break, look at the pictures, then want to stop and edit. I mean, just doing all this stuff. Like, I'm like, girl, what is wrong with you? What's wrong with you? But anyway, so Got to the top. So it probably took me like an hour and a half, 2 hours to get to the top. Cause I know when I got to the top, the restaurant was already closed. So probably like an hour and a half it took me, hour 45. And so I got to the top, took pictures on live, on Facebook Live, like, hey, ain't this so beautiful? I mean, just the most, okay? And then at the blink of an eye, baby, that sun started to go down. And I was like, oh crap. Oh crap. God help us today. Because I was like, it took me an hour and a half to get up here. It's gonna take me at least an hour to get down. Lord help. That sun, that day turned to night so fast. I literally, once I got up here and I took my pictures up here, by the time I was like down here, it was dark. It was dark. Like, mind you, I was so unprepared. I had a mobile charger, but I didn't bring it. I don't even know. I think because I changed backpacks and I wasn't thinking, I did not have my mobile charger. So that was error number one. So I want y'all to remember, if y'all go hiking, especially if y'all go hiking around the time I went hiking, and it's gonna be a dark by the time y'all done with whatever y'all doing, pack a mobile charger. Do not leave. And I feel like people know this, but I just need to say that. Pack a mobile charger. If you need to check everything, I don't care what, if you got to turn back around, pack a mobile charger, buy one if you in a place where you can buy one. I wasn't in a place where I could buy one because the store was closed. So that's that. But make sure you got a mobile charger. All right? Because when you taking all them pictures and video and Facebook Live and all this different stuff, your battery is soon to go down. I'm telling you, I probably took hundreds of pictures just from that hike alone. Dozens of videos just from that hike alone on Facebook Live for like 20, 30 minutes. So just imagine, I mean, you can start off at 100%, then by the end of that, you're going to be at like, what, 30. So definitely pack a mobile charger. So by the time I got down here, it was dark. So I'm like power walking my behind off. Listen, walking up the King's Highway was what I was doing. Walking down, walking up, whatever you want to call it, because I had to get ASAP. And so it was nobody in close proximity to me that I could like follow or trail behind. You know, I couldn't see anything. I could not see absolutely nothing. It was so dark. And then I never recall anybody behind me going up the trail. And if they were behind me, they were still behind me a good enough distance that if somebody came out to attack me, they wouldn't know because they way back there. You know what I'm saying? So it was like insane. I was like, what have you done? So I remember checking the bus times before I even started the hike. And I think that from what I had read, the last bus was at like 9. We'll get to that in a second. So I'm like, okay, well, yeah, I'm in the woods right now, but at least I'll be able to get on a bus and get to where I need to go. Now, mind you, the bus ride was in itself was an hour because the hike was so far from the actual city. All right. So I had to like take the bus to the city and then the city to like my hotel. So that was going to be another hour and a half. I'm walking, and I'm like, Lord, I'm using every single last cent of my battery for light because I need to be able to see. Like I said, I don't know if they had bears or whatever. I don't know what this damn hike had. I don't know. But I knew that I needed some light to see where I was going. So I'm using my battery, ain't no service, nothing like that, to, you know, do what you need to do, or if you need to call somebody, whatever. So I'm just using my battery, walking fast. I'm hearing noises, and I'm like in panic mode, in full panic mode. Like, I don't think I ever walked that fast before. Like, I was so scared, bro. Like, I was in panic mode. So I'm just walking. I'm walking, like walking, running, like whatever what they call it. I can't even think of the word right now. Power walking. I'm power walking through the forest, through the woods. Listen, trying to get to where I need to get. So I'm walking. I ain't see nobody in front of me. I didn't hear nobody in front of me. I didn't hear nobody behind me. So at this point, I'm just praying the whole entire way down. Like, Lord, if you get me out of this, I promise I'll be better prepared, because this is insane. So I'm just really praying and pleading to the Lord, like, Lord, please don't let no bears, no unknown species come out and try to eat my flesh. I just cannot take that right now. Like, I just need to get out of here. So it was so dark. So I finally get down, and I'm at this like picnic table where, you know, people, if you want to eat or whatever case may be before you go, whatever. And then the bus times is there. So I'm like, okay, the bus, blah, 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 is gonna come at this time. So it should be coming in, like, it was the last bus too. From what I had read, it was supposed to be the last bus. But obviously I don't know how I read that thing, because there was no bus to arrive. After like waiting 45 minutes for the bus, there was no bus to arrive. So now I'm really in panic mode, because one, my phone is like on 5%, and getting on it, I couldn't find any information on how to like get transportation, like how to call a taxi to come get me, or ride share. There was no ride share where I was. Like, there was no Uber, there was no Lyft. So I didn't find any information even about a taxi. So I'm like, okay, like, what am I about to do? Like, literally, I must have read the bus schedule wrong. So I don't know if I read it for the weekend. I don't know what I did, but it was no bus. After waiting, it was, from what I read, it's supposed to be there in 20 minutes after I got down to the bottom of the hike. After 45, 50 minutes, I realized there was nothing coming for me. There was nothing. Nobody was coming to save me. So I'm like, oh my God, so what am I gonna do? So my brain just started thinking. I'm like, okay, well, there was a village. I can't think of the village name, I'll post it. But it was a village that probably would have took me about another hour and a half to walk. So after I sat there in panic mode, I ain't gonna lie, a real nigga shed some tears, because I was like, girl, I can't believe you did this to yourself. Like, I cannot believe that I was freaking stuck in the woods in freaking Czech Republic. Like, who does that? And so after I cried real nigga tears, I was like, okay, well, you just gonna have to walk to this village, and hopefully nobody don't come out to get you in, because it was still dark. Like, the road, it was like a dusty road, and 2 lanes, and it was still dark. It was no light. So it was just like being where I had just came from. So I sat there, and then as soon as I made the decision to walk to the village and get a room there and just stay there for the night until it was daytime, and then I can get a, charge my phone, get a charger, whatever the case may be, and get to where I need to get back to. So as I make that decision, listen, let me tell you, the Lord, he be knowing. Excuse me. So as I make that decision, a family of 4, husband, wife, and 2 children, came down, and they spoke English. I think they were from Germany. I think they were from Germany. Because Germany is on the border. I think they were from Germany. So they were like, I was instantly like relieved because I'm like, well, at least I'm not out here by myself. And they have kids, so they shouldn't be too crazy with their kids around. So I instantly gained a sigh of relief because one, I wasn't the only person there, and it was some people that came after me. So I spoke to them. I was like, "Hey, how you doing?" They was like, "Hey," and they was like, they start asking me, "Is like, you here by yourself?" I'm like, "Yeah, I was waiting on the bus. I thought the bus was gonna come at this time, but it wasn't gonna come. It didn't come." And so they were like, where are you at? And I told them what city I was in, where I was staying. And they was like, "Oh, we'll take you to your hotel." And I was like, in my mind, I was like, in the USA, I wouldn't do this. I would just be stuck. If I was in the USA, I would just be stuck, and that's just gonna be that. But I had a little trust that I was gonna be okay because they were really nice people. Like I said, they were with their kids, small kids, so I didn't think that they would do anything too crazy. And I did kind of feel a peace. It wasn't like how it would be if I was in the USA. I wouldn't feel no type of peace at all. But I was like, well, either I'm gonna die with them or I'm gonna die in this forest. So take your chances. So I took my chances, and the husband went to go like get the car out of the parking lot, and he drove up, and then we got in the car, and then they were asking me questions about like where I am from, and like how did I get here? Am I here by myself? And like, why? Like, how did you like freaking forget your charger and all this different stuff? So, and I was getting to know them, like figure out where they're from. I think they are from Germany though. But yeah, so luckily the way that they were going was the way that my hotel was going. So it worked out. And so they're like, yeah, we'll take you, whatever. So the drive was cool. Like, we were talking, getting to know each other. And then they dropped me off. I handed them some money. I don't know how much money I gave them. It was in Czech dollars. I probably gave them like 10 or 15 US dollars. I don't know. But anyway, gave them something, for helping me out. And that was it. And I was able to make it to my destination, y'all. And I tell you, that was nothing but the grace of God. Because listen, it was so much more daunting than what y'all getting from here. Like, I was real like terrified because I'm like, Lord, what have I done? Like, that junk was just insane. And then who's to say if I get to the village, like, I don't even know if the village had hotels. I'm just thinking that they got hotels. I don't know if they got hotels for real. Even have anything available. So I'm just really like hoping and wishing. So yeah, that was crazy. So key takeaways from this: have your portable charger. Make sure it's full of battery. Do not go anywhere without it. I don't care. If you forgot it, you need to turn back around. All right. Especially if you went at the time I went. That's takeaway number 2. Do not go too late. Estimate. I ain't even looked to see what time the sun was going to set. I just went because I was on a time crunch, and I was like, I got to do it. If I want to do both of these hikes, I got to do this hike today to be able to do the hike in Germany tomorrow. So that was my whole process. I didn't really care what time it was. I was doing this hike. So plan a little better than I did. All right. So don't go as late. If you know this hike is going to take an hour and a half, factor in the time she's going to stop, breaks, pictures, all this stuff. That's going to be 2 hours. You don't need to be going to a hike like that no later than like 2, 3 o'clock. If you want to get back before the sun beats you, goes down, or rather. So definitely go on your hike early. I mean, I should have took an earlier train, but I didn't. So go early, go early, go early, plan that time, getting up there, taking pictures, doing whatever you want to do, and then getting back down. Plan that time. And step 3, always have a plan of escape, because really and truly, you in another country. It's so many things I read wrong, like so many schedules and stuff like that, because I can't even remember if it was in English. I think it was just in Czech, honestly. I can't remember. But you know, translation, yeah, you got that, but that can be translated wrong. I mean, just so many other different things. So always have a plan of escape. All right. Listen, my trip, well, that hike would have been so much better if, one, I had my portable charger, and 2, if I didn't go so late. That was really the downfall of this hike, even though I still enjoyed it. But the terror that commenced after the hike was like none other. All right. So just make sure, those are 3 key takeaways I want y'all to make sure when y'all hike anywhere. And I'm pretty sure y'all know this, but solo travelers, whatever, just make sure you're prepared. Don't go to no hike that late. Don't do it. I'm telling you, unless you just don't care. But I cared because I was by myself and I was in a totally different country and nobody was there to save me. So that's all I wanted to tell y'all. So this was my first story time video. Again, this was about hiking, getting lost in the hike, getting lost in the woods, hitchhiking, doing all this different crazy stuff that I would never do in my own country. So I hope y'all enjoyed this story time. Again, thank y'all so much for tuning into the Starling-Dade sessions. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe, because I'm gonna have some more story times. My life is full of story times, okay? I got stories for days. So again, thank y'all for tuning into the Starling-Dade sessions. I hope y'all enjoy it. Starling-Dade.